Have you ever seen a money-making idea so hyped up that people sold their homes, borrowed cash from strangers, and bet their entire future on it? What happens when that dream explodes? You get a disaster so big, it almost wrecked a country. The South Sea Bubble, the first stock market crash? Let's travel back to the early 1700s. England had just finished fighting a long and expensive conflict, the War of the Spanish Succession. That war lasted from 1701 to 1714, and it was all about who would control the Spanish throne. Wars are expensive, really expensive. By the end, England was buried in debt. The government owed tens of millions of pounds, and they were desperate for a solution. So what do you do when you're the government and you owe more money than you can ever pay back? You look for a clever scheme, and hope it doesn't blow up in your face. In 1711, a group of powerful men came up with a plan. They formed the South Sea Company. The idea? The company would take over a chunk of the national debt. In exchange, they'd be given a monopoly on trade with South America. Sounds great, right? There's just one problem. Most of South America was controlled by Spain. And Spain didn't want to trade with Britain, especially after they'd just been at war. So the company had the rights to trade, but not the ability to trade. Still, that didn't stop them from making big promises. We'll bring back treasure. Get in now and double your money. People believed them, especially since the company had support from Parliament and even the king. So what happens when rich people invest in something? Everyone else rushes in, afraid they'll miss their chance to strike it rich. By 1720, the hype was out of control. The South Sea Company's stock shot up like a rocket, from £100 to nearly £1,000 per share. People were pawning furniture, borrowing from friends, even forging documents just to buy in. It became a national obsession. Other fake companies popped up too. One said it would do a great undertaking, but nobody knows what it is. People bought that one, too. But eventually, people started asking questions. The company wasn't making any money. There was no South American gold. No booming trade. And then, the bubble popped. What happened besides people losing money? The entire system nearly collapsed. Banks failed. Ordinary people lost everything. Even Isaac Newton, one of the smartest men in history, lost a fortune. He famously said, "I can calculate the motions of heavenly bodies, but not the madness of men." The public was furious. Parliament held emergency investigations. Government officials were kicked out. One company director tried to flee the country but got caught, stripped of his wealth, and thrown in prison. The South Sea Bubble wasn't just a financial mess, it was a national scandal. It destroyed trust in the stock market. For over 100 years afterward, British companies weren't allowed to sell shares to the public without special government approval. The South Sea Bubble shows how easy it is for hype, greed, and fear of missing out to take over. It also shows what happens when powerful people use rumors instead of reality to make money. If you like this dive into disaster, give this video a like, share it with someone who loves a good financial scandal, and subscribe for more strange stories from history. And hey, drop a comment. What do you think today's version of the South Sea Bubble might be?